Okay. Hi. Welcome to your first trumpet lesson.
Oh, thanks.
Are you excited?
So excited.
Okay. Yay. Okay. So before we actually start buzzing, I want to just show you how the trumpet looks and how we can put it together.
Okay.
And then we're just going to set it aside and get into buzzing.
All right.
So whenever you put your trumpet together, you want to make sure you keep it on the ground. If you have it on your lap and you open your case, you know it could fall out. Everything could go everywhere. So that's probably not the best idea.
No.
And the trumpet's actually really easy to put together. So if you put yours down flat, make sure the latches are facing you. That's good. And then if you just want to unlatch it. And, all right, and if you just want to take out the body, not the mouthpiece, not the valve oil. All right, so this is your trumpet.
Okay.
Here are your 3 valve buttons.
Okay.
And then this little thing over here is the water key, if you want to just push on that. And I didn't know where mine was at first when we first started, so it's good to know where this is. This is actually how you're going to be dumping out. It's not spit, it's condensation.
Right.
Which is good to know. That you're not getting covered in spit, you're getting covered in condensation, which is slightly less gross. Alright, so let's talk about how to hold the trumpet.
Okay.
Alright, so if you want to take your left hand, and you're going to take your ring finger and put it right through that little hole. And then your other 2 fingers are just kind of go on the sides, and then your thumb can go right out front there. Sometimes they have a little thumb spot, sometimes they don't, it's totally fine. And your pinky can just kind of do whatever feels comfortable down there. Just kind of place it, yep. So it should be kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. And then your right thumb is going to go right underneath here.
Okay.
And then your 3 fingers are going to go on top. And then your pinky can either rest on top of here or curl under, depending on how comfortable it is.
Okay.
So does that feel pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, so that's how you hold the trumpet. We'll review that in just a second to see if you remembered it well, which I think you'll be fine. All right, so if you want to just set your trumpet down, let's put it on the case. I don't want it to fall over.
Okay.
All right. So now, before we take out the mouthpiece, I want to talk a little bit about buzzing. Because unlike the oboe or the clarinet, like the woodwind instruments where you just blow through it, you actually have to make a buzz to make a sound in the trumpet.
Okay.
So I just want you to do a nice loose. Yeah, and that's just to warm up your muscles because just like in sports, it's good to stretch before you just go in and run your marathon. You don't want to do it right away.
Right.
So that's good. All right. So now when you're blowing into the trumpet, it's not going to be like that kind of a buzz. It has to be a more firm, directed buzz. Okay. So when you buzz this time, I want you to keep your corners firm, not tight, but firm, and just kind of do like a spit buzz in the middle, like. Yeah. Does it feel painful or anything? Good. And if you, yeah, it does kind of tickle. And if you want, you can try to change the pitch by making it go lower and higher. So like a really tight one, and then a little bit looser to change the pitch. If you can kind of hear, if you want to try real quick. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's not going to be extremely different than the other ones, but that was really good. And it's good to be able to kind of feel like the air is kind of changing direction. When you kind of lowered it, your lips kind of lowered, the change of the air kind of changed as well.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to take out your mouthpiece.
Okay.
All right. And is it cold or does it feel okay? Like this part, does it feel kind of cold? You can sometimes I kind of go like this just to warm it up a little because sometimes they get really cold and then it doesn't feel too great.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, so we're going to start by doing the same thing, and what I found really helpful is if I start my buzz and then I bring my mouthpiece to my mouth.
Okay.
So if you want to try this. If you want to try doing that.
Okay.
It's really fun. Nice! That was really good, yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah, and if you want to try it one more, okay, let's just do it one more time.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, how'd that feel?
Weird.
Yeah, a little bit weird, yeah, right? All right, so now we're going to try something. If it doesn't work, totally fine. I just want to see. I'm going to buzz a pitch into it. I want you to try to match it with me, okay? Because you play piano, you're probably good at listening. So try to match my pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you make a pitch and I'll try to match yours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. One of the biggest problems with trumpet is getting a nice steady airstream, because you kind of notice that even
Yes.
both of us, our strings are kind of going, it's like back and forth. And that's really hard to do, is to keep it go steady. But the more you practice just on the mouthpiece, the better you can get to the trumpet, because really the trumpet, you could make any sound just on your mouthpiece, right? The trumpet's just kind of aiding you in projecting the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can make it on your mouthpiece, you can do it on the trumpet, which
Alright.
is really cool. Do you want to try it one more? So I'll
Sure.
do one more pitch and try to just match that pitch with me, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
This is going to be a little bit higher, so you're going to have to tighten your embouchure a little bit, and your embouchure is your mouth.
Okay.
And make sure when you're putting your mouthpiece on, it's right in the center of your lips. You don't want it too far down, too far up. Right in the center, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. All right, yeah, no, that was good. Matching pitches is really important, especially for brass players, to be able to match those pitches with your ear. All right, so now I just want you to do a nice, firm, high buzz and slowly loosen your mouth and kind of go down. So it's going to sound like this. By the time you get to the bottom, your lips should be really loosening, and your jaw should feel kind of like it's going down a little bit.
Okay.
So if you want to start a nice, firm, high buzz, and then slowly loosen everything, and when you're loosening, your airstream is also going to feel like it's coming down a little bit, it's going a little bit slower.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just try that real quick. That was awesome! That was really good! Yeah, that's really hard to do, and I think it's easier going from high to low. So now we're going to try it the other way. We're going to go from low and start firming up a faster airstream. Did you kind of feel like you started with like a really directed airstream going? It was going really fast and you were really firm, and then you slowly got a little bit looser. Alright, so now we're going to try going from low to high, and this is harder. And then slowly get firmer and go up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, no, that was really good. Yeah, trust me, it's not going to sound pretty.
Okay, good.
But yeah, all right, so I think we are ready to
Okay.
start the trumpet. Okay. So you have your mouthpiece in hand?
Yes.
All right, now when you put it in, you're just going to push it down just until you feel a little bit of resistance, and then you're just going to give it a nice little twist. You don't want to shove it in,
Okay.
go the other way. Yeah. So just a nice push, and then just a little bit of a turn. And it shouldn't be able to come back out. All right. But this way it's not going to get stuck either, you know. All right, do you remember how to hold the trumpet?
Okay. Ring finger and the
Great, yeah.
It's two
Nice.
hands, and then thumb over here.
Yeah.
Pinky.
Pinky.
Thumb between the two first.
Between the first and second bell, yep.
And then.
Yep, and then 1, 2, 3, right?
Yep, and pinky
Yeah.
kind of just chills.
The pinky chills. Yeah, no, that's awesome. It looks like a great position. And when you're sitting, you want to make sure you're not, sitting slouched in the back of your chair,
Okay.
nice and straight, because the trumpet is one of the ones that really projects, and
Yes.
you're proud of your super strong sound.
Fanfares.
Exactly, and we're gonna play one today.
Okay.
Yep, and then so remember how I said it should be straight on your mouth?
Mhm.
That kind of goes for how you're holding it too. You don't want it to be too far down, because then think about how like the air is kind of being
Right.
restricted. There's not really much distance that it could travel.
Okay.
All right, so we want to make it nice and straight out.
Okay.
All right, and what I'm going to have us do is do the thing where we're going to start the buzz and bring our trumpet to our mouth, because it's always fun to see what pitch we're going to play.
Uh-oh.
All right? All right, ready?
Sure.
So start that buzz. Yay! That was really good. Yeah.
Okay.
How did that feel? It was a lot different than mouthpiece, right? You felt like it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of came out easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do you
still
want-
felt like it was kind of crackly.
A little bit crackly. Just focus on that directing the air right through. Like try to hear the pitch. Once you find a pitch, really focus on it. Your ear is really one of your biggest helpers for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So why don't you try it all by yourself?
Okay.
That was nice. I think that was on a middle C.
Different.
Yeah, good. You played a middle C. That was the note we were going to do today.
Really?
Yeah, so good. Can you...
Hey.
Okay, so now you kind of know how fast the buzzing needs to be for that note to come out, right? I think sometimes, you know, the buzzing is really fast and it's vibrating really fast. And once you bring it to your mouth, you're like,
Yes.
oh, that's how high I was. I have to bring it down a little bit. All right, so now that you kind of know how fast you need to buzz it, we're going to start with the mouthpiece actually already on our mouth.
Okay.
And really articulate that sound with a nice toe. If you can kind of in your throat hear a toe sound. And try to hit that same middle C that we just hit. I'm going to play it first so you can hear it.
Okay.
That was great. That was a really good tone. If anything, you could just maybe use a little bit more air.
More air?
Can really project that sound because it was a great tone. You need a little bit more support and yeah. Right.
Okay.
So one more time, let's play it together. That sounded really great.
Sorry, just wavering. It's my fault.
No, it sounded great, and it's really hard. I can't even control the wavering sometimes. It's hard to do. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're still not going to put down any vowels. We're going to go from that C, and we're going to go up to the G. All right, so listen, and all you're going to do is faster airstream and tighten your embouchure, and you should be able to find the pitch, because on the trumpet, it's, you know, the distances between the pitches, they're not hard to find, as opposed to like maybe the French horn. Like the partials are very far apart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so listen first. So you're just gonna kind of tighten your embouchure. Remember, the corners are nice and firm.
Firm.
Even if you want to bring your chin up a little bit, sometimes it helps if I raise my eyebrows. Just anything that makes you think higher.
Higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it. It was close. Yeah. It's like almost there. It's like you hit it and then you kind of back away. Keep that airstream going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it was like a really flat G.
It was really flat.
Close. Yeah. Maybe we can try, instead of going from the C up to the G, can we just hit the G straight on? So a really tight embouchure and just blow through it. You know, you really need a lot of air.
Okay.
If you just want to hit that G right away.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, just focus on keeping that airstream straight ahead. If you can kind of visualize. Okay, here, let's try something real quick. If you want to put
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to put your hand out in front of you.
Okay.
And I want you to blow an airstream and pretend like you're blowing it through your hand. Like a really, like keep your embouchure nice and tight, but just blowing through all the way. And feel like you're really blowing past your hand. Can you feel, at first did it feel like you couldn't find where your hand was, and then you kind of found that direction of the air?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really what you want to feel like when you're blowing in the trumpet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to try one more time?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll try.
All right, it's really hard. There's people in my class who still can't hit the G, and it's a hard thing to do. But when you almost had it, you know, like, and you were even there at one point. Just gotta really be confident with your tone and just blow through it. And if anything, I don't know, did you feel like your embouchure was getting looser because you were trying to hold the G?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just really focus on. You don't want to like push, but you want to keep your corners nice and firm. And remember that really stable. You know, that looks good. All right, do you want to hit the G straight on? I'll play it for you so you want to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, over. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of tension in your face.
Probably.
Yeah. And that, I mean, it makes
Feels
sense. You know,
like it.
you're really tightening your embouchure, but just here. Let me try one. I'm not really like squeezing that much. I'm keeping it firm. I'm just really focusing on like pushing through the trumpet, like pushing through it.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe, let's see, can I see where your embouchure, can you just put it up to where your face would be? Yeah, no, that looks good, yeah. If you want to try one more time, and then I'll teach you a few notes, because the G, it's hard to hit, but you got really close, and that's all that matters right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try one more time.
Yeah.
Oh.
we have our 15 minutes up. I just want to hear the G one more time. See if you can really blow through that. That was awesome! Yay! That was yay! You did a good job. Yeah, that was awesome. How did everything feel?
Much better that last time. I really
Yeah.
focused on like through. Like I
Yeah,
tried
good.
getting like to the wall.
Yeah, you weren't focused
instead
on
of-
like, oh, I'm all tense. You were really focusing on pushing through there.
Mhm.
That was awesome. Yeah, good
Helped a lot.
job. All right, so let's put our trumpets away. It's
Okay.
super easy. First we're gonna take off our mouthpiece, and we
Okay.
might have a little bit of condensation. So if
Okay.
you want to squeeze that, maybe put it to the side yet. And then don't buzz, but blow right through the lead pipe. There we go. Yeah, clean it up. And then it goes right back in our case, just like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then your mouthpiece goes in, and you're good to go. Good job. You did so good.
Thank you.